So I just went back and forth with a camp here in Atlanta, and it's clear we're not dealing with the same God. If it wasn't clear before, and it was clear before, but it's really clear now. I guess because the Most High has increased my wisdom and knowledge, right? To where like now, like I already knew this, but it's crystal clear now. They don't work for us. It's crystal clear. And we was predominantly talking about Jacob's trouble. And I'm like, hey, we're out of Jacob's trouble. Have we not been through trouble for the past 1,000 years? And their energy, the way how they were communicating, it was like, no, we're gonna go through Jacob's trouble. This is gonna happen to us. This is gonna happen to us. This is gonna happen to us. And their energy was kind of like they want it to happen, kind of like they HATE us, like Esau. So their energy was like one of the Gentile nations and the Edomites. Like, I'm like, dude, we've been through Jacob's trouble. They would just like it was like the weirdest thing, because they were just like firm on us going through Jacob's trouble. Like that was gonna happen, trouble. I'm like, if that's what y'all want to believe, you know what I mean? But I mean, for the remnant within the remnant, the 1%. Like it's over. I told them, I'm like, what it seems as if like you guys are out here just trying to use tactics of the devil and the Gentile nations, white TPPL. Right? It's all energy harvesting. It's keeping you in fear, keeping you in angst, keeping you anxiety, keeping you in this whole notion that you gotta prepare and you gotta do this because Jacob's trouble is gonna happen and this is going to happen. Right? So it's just all so they can steal your energy, Bubs. You know what I mean? So it's crystal clear. And don't get me wrong, it was clear to me before. It was very clear to me before that these people, these brothers on the corner, is set up by the GOV in the synagogue of Satan, the FAKE-ish, to be a stumbling block to the awakening. And when I was done communicating with them, the sister, I guess she was in the cut, you know, she had her, you know, sister, she had Jesus all over her car, called for prayer all over her car and stuff like that. And she was like, yeah, I guess she thought I was a Christian, right? One of her, I thought she was I guess she thought I was a black Christian, like confronting the Israelites on the corner. And I said, hold on, sister, no, let me stop you. I'm like, no, they're absolutely right about us being a people. Make no mistake about that, right? But the devil will give you half-truths as well. And they were set up by our enemies to be a stumbling block to the awakening. So you shy away from learning who you really are. So I had to affirm that to her, right? Because it's so, I just praise the Most High because it's so clear. It's like when the Most High gives you the eyes to see and the ears to hear, and it's like it's clear as day for you. But you see, like you're able to have a vantage point and see that, one, it's not clear as day to everybody. And then you see how some people got some aspects of it, but they don't got the whole story, right? It's like the Israelites in the corner. They got the part that we're the Israelites, but they don't got the whole story. The Christians, they got that. They got the Jesus part, and right, but they don't got the whole story. And then you're looking like, damn, the Most High really gave me the wisdom to be able to put everything together and filter through all of the LIEs. And I praise him for that. Black Americans are the real children of Israel, the real Jews, the real indigenous Americans from the same tribe as Jesus Christ, or Yahweh or Yahushua, or Yeshaya, or Yeshua, the same Black American man. All praise to the Most High.
Yeah, this nigga, he's scrambled and scattered. I want to first and foremost give all honor, all praise, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations unto the four like tabernacle of David that are scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. So you heard about almost 5 minutes of just straight jitter, vein jangling, a bunch of opinionated, jargon. He pretty much, he acting like he got this, premonition, about the Israelite camps, the men that are out there on the front lines, presenting their bodies as living sacrifices, to get the word out, which his ass would have never known who he was if none of them were ever out there to begin with. But that just shows you the mindset of Jake right now. And, it's almost like every day, you get real clarity when you know that the Most High is just going to destroy the majority of our people. It's like you're given that clarity when you see just how foolish and wicked our people truly are. So, he had a lot to say, but really wasn't saying nothing. I didn't hear not one scripture the entire time come out of his mouth. Isaiah 8:20, just to quote it, to the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it's because there's no light in them. And he obviously, him knowing that he's an Israelite, that's pretty much the best of what he actually knows. All right. He has the flesh upon him, but he definitely don't have the breath. And you can determine that just based off of hearing everything that he was saying. All right. And the scriptures tell us, when you hear a man speak, it tells you that the child of man is in his reasoning. The furnace will prove the potter's vessel, so is the child of man is in his reasoning. All right. It'll declare if the tree have been dressed. So the utterance of a conceit in the heart of a man. So he believes that the Lord increased his wisdom and therefore opened his eyes to the camps. But what really is the issue with him is the Lord didn't increase his wisdom. The Lord pretty much increased his incredulity. This was just, more reason in his mind to not really believe. All right. He doesn't want to hear that, the time of Jacob's trouble is coming. He doesn't want to have to prepare himself. All right. And that's an Israelite for you. All right. They've always had an issue with the prophets, giving them urgent warnings about themselves and that the Most High is bringing total judgment. They never wanted to hear it. They rather hear something that's going to make them feel good. All right. Let me get that in the book of Isaiah real quick. You can go to Isaiah 30. And I'm going to start at the 8th verse and I'm going to read it I'm going to amplify it. Go to the Amplified Bible on this. So this is Isaiah 30 and 8. It says, now go write it on the table. It's like you go and write it on a tablet before them and inscribe it on a scroll, so they may serve in the time to come as a witness against them forevermore. For this is a rebellious people, lying sons who refuse to listen to the law and instruction of the Lord. All right, and the Lord, he speaks through the mouth of the prophets. They're the ones who gives the instruction. And it was always up to Israel whether they want to, hear and take heed, or they were just going to flat out ignore it, have something to say in that regard, basically going against the grain. Jake is a hard-headed, stiff-hearted people, very stubborn, very rebellious. It says, who say to the seers, the prophets, you must not see visions from the Most High, and to the prophets, you must not prophesy to us what is right. Speak to us pleasant things and smooth words. Prophesy deceitful illusions that we will enjoy. So, when we out there and we telling Jake that, Jacob's trouble is coming, bad times are here, it's a sour taste in their mouth and they hate it. But you can ignore the counsel of the Most High all you want. You can say, we're fear mongering, we're trying to take their energy. Basically they're trying to rain on our parade. They don't want us to enjoy our lives. They want to say this and that. Just believe the sweet part that we're Israelites. Don't believe that evil is coming. And that's basically what he's saying. Okay. And hey, we're gonna see. I'll say to an individual like that, hey, don't prepare. Don't worry about it. All right. Just when that time comes, just know that prophets have been among you. Okay. And even that sister that he said, basically he was speaking evil of us, to a sister that happened to be listening, and him basically telling her that basically we're off and, they only write about us being the chosen people, but, they're set up, the synagogue of Satan, the devil set them up, this and that. If she believed him, then he fulfilled what Yahushua said when somebody falls by the wayside, all right, they don't understand the wisdom of the kingdom of heaven. Then cometh the devil, then cometh the wicked one, the basically take away which is sown in his heart or her heart. So if he did say that to a sister that was standing next to a camp trying to listen, then hey, he fulfilled that role. Basically, homeboy is the devil. He doesn't see it that way, I'm pretty sure, but he had a devil on him. All right, and now now that you didn't put this out there, all right, for brothers to see, and now you got the men of the Lord responding to you. It's not a good look. You want it to be seen. You wanted your words to be heard. Well, is now heard. All right, and definitely the Heavenly Father in the heavens, he heard it too. So if you thinking in your heart that we off, the time of Jacob's trouble is not coming anytime soon, it already happened, fine. Now, if the times that we've been speaking about, all right, concerning the time of Jacob's trouble, well, which basically tells you that it's going to be so drastic in the world that Michael the archangel is going to have to stand for the people. That the Lord's chosen elect are going to they're going to need divine intervention. So when that comes, then that's when Jake's like this, they're gonna have self-conviction. All right. It's gonna be all over for these type of niggas. And it's not gonna end well. But he thinks he got it mapped out. Matter of fact, let me get this real quick. It is Ecclesiastes. Yeah, Ecclesiastes 10 and 12 through 13. And it says, wise words bring approval, but fools are destroyed by their own words. And that's definitely going to happen to him. All right, when that time actually happens, when this devil come down with that wrath, you know, when you start seeing people die by the thousands, you know, when you see cities on lockdown, when you see martial law being declared. I mean, we're seeing enough as it is. You know, you're seeing, you know, certain beaches and rivers turning red, blood red. You know, you're seeing all these different strange phenomenons in the heavens. You know, we just had a blood moon. And then you got Donald Trump, all right, making the moves that he's making. You know, you got a lot of people here in the States that are suffering. You know, eventually there's going to be civil unrest because the people are going to get desperate. The living conditions in their living situations is not sufficing. You got people that's getting ready to lose their rental assistance that they get from the government because you got the Department of Housing and Urban Development running out of money. It's going to put over 60,000 people's households at risk for evictions. So more homelessness, food prices still going up, inflation still increasing. So what do you think is getting ready to happen while you're sitting in that car talking real effeminate? So we're going to see if your opinion matches up with the times that we're in and what we're getting ready to face. Should Jake be listening to you or listening to the prophets? It says, fools base their thoughts on foolish assumptions, like that guy. So their conclusions will be wicked madness. They chatter on and on. No one really knows what is going to happen. No one can predict the future. Except who? The Lord through his prophets. Because he the one that gives them the secrets. Surely he would do nothing but reveal his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. This dude, he don't know what the hell is going on. And this is what social media does. You know, it gives the people the privilege of thinking that their words and their opinions are valued and it means anything. But all you're doing is just uttering what's in the conceit of your heart, so that the Most High can record it and mark you. That's all that's happening. All right. But eventually you're gonna end up eating your words, because we know clearly what's getting ready to come down the pipe. It just doesn't sound comfortable for you. So hey, if that makes us evil, then hey, we'll hey, the Lord said, blessed are ye when men shall speak evil of you, when men shall revile you and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my name's sake. So hey, we're blessed. People are not supposed to speak well of us, because they hated the prophets. They even killed the prophets, doing the same line of work. So we don't expect you to have any good opinion about us. But all this just proves is that you always had that evil suspicion. Because he kept saying, well, I mean, I already knew it, but it's just confirmed now, you know? No, I mean, it was predestined, all right? Before you was even in the womb, all right? You were going to be one of those who were going to reject the message coming from the prophets and buck up against the truth so that you could be destroyed. All right. This is Sirach 3 and verse 24. It says, for many are deceived by their own vain opinion and an evil suspicion, which he has that about the camps. All right. In which the camps are bodies of prophets, companies of prophets. And the Lord said that he would send his prophets out to go out there and speak to this people. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. And y'all not going to take heed. It says, an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment. He already made his decision about us. All right. And we're going to see. He's already made his judgment. He already made his decision on, what his perception is about the men of the Lord. But we're just going to have to see. And we don't lose any sleep when you niggas get on TikTok or whatever platform and y'all start to, say that we're lying, we're deceiving the people, we're set up, this and that. That's supposed to happen. Okay? We're gonna have a good report and an evil report. But really it's just on our part. Let me go to that in was that 1 Peter? I think it was it 13? Let me see. Let me go to the KJV. Yep. 1 Peter 4:14, and it says, I'll start at 13. It says, but rejoicing as much as you are partakers of Yahushua's sufferings. And they said he was evil. They said he had a devil. They said he deceived the people, right? That when his glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy. If you be reproached for the name of a Mashiach, happy are ye. For the spirit of glory and of the Most High resteth upon you. On their part, he is evil spoken of, but on your part, he is glorified. So, hey, the scripture says, let not the incredulity of them trouble you, for all shall die in unfaithfulness. So you don't have to believe. Okay? You don't believe that Jacob's trouble is going to come? Well, this is a good reply right here. This is Ezekiel 22, starting at the 24th verse, and I'm going to read it in the NLT. And it says, Son of man, give the people of Israel this message. In the day of my indignation, you will be like a polluted land, a land without rain. Your princes, Slakia, hold up. Ezekiel 12. Yeah, that's where I meant to go. Yep, Ezekiel 12. And starting at verse 22, it says, Son of man, you've heard that proverb they quote in Israel, time passes and prophecies come to nothing. Tell the people, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I will put an end to this proverb and you will soon stop quoting it. Now give them this new proverb to replace the old one. The time has come for every prophecy to be fulfilled. And without us, Jake would all just be totally destroyed. Without vision, the people perish. The only communication that our people have with the Most High is through the prophets. And if you won't hear them, you won't listen to them, then you're pretty much denying the mouth of the Most High. All right, and we already know what it says in Proverbs, the 1st chapter. All right, because you didn't want to hear his counsel, and no man regarded, his reproof. The Lord's he's gonna mock when your fear comes, as a desolation and as a whirlwind. He ain't gonna hear your cries, your prayers. It says, verse 24 says, there will be no more false visions and flattering predictions in Israel. For I am the Lord. If I say it, it will happen. There will be no more delays, you rebels of Israel. I will fulfill my threat of destruction in your own lifetime. I, the sovereign Lord, have spoken. Then his message came to me from the Lord, Son of man, The people of Israel are saying he's talking about the distant future. That dude is saying that it already happened. If I mean, you can go back and listen to it. All right. And you got other false prophets, false apostles that teach the same thing, that we already done went through Jacob's trouble. We're just waiting on the salvation now. You idiot. Before we get saved, we got to go through the fire. How else are you going to be tried and made white? When you read Revelation, it clearly talks about those that were clothed in white robes. And when John asked the angel, you know, who are they? Who are these people? And he said, these be they who come out of tribulation. So clearly you have no idea. But the scriptures say, he that is ignorant, let him be ignorant. All right, when we do these lessons, it's to wake up the hopeful elect. We already know 2/3 of our people, they're not gonna be able to get it. All right, the Lord pretty much left His truth to be as a rock of offense and a stone of stumbling, you know, to the houses of Israel, you know, for a gin and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. It even said many among them will stumble and fall and be broken and be snared and be taken. 2/3 of them, whatever the case may be, they're going to stumble at the truth. And they're going to fall, all right? So continuing on, it says, he's talking about the distant future. His visions won't come true for a long, long time. Therefore, tell them this is what the sovereign Lord says. No more delay. I will now do everything I have threatened. I, the sovereign Lord, have spoken. So, like I said, we're going to see. Okay? But Jake can't say that, you know, the message didn't go out. Jake wasn't reproved. We warned the wicked to turn from their evil way. And if they don't want to turn from it, the blood's going to be upon their own head. But we're going to be spared. Because we're trying to pull you ignorant, stiff-necked niggas. We're trying to draw you from death. So, have at it, man. All right? But just hey, many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and their evil suspicion has overthrown their judgment. So it is what it is. So Lord willing, y'all are edified. I'm going to end off with that. I'm going to give all honor, all praise, and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai. Shalom.